It says Kevin Spacey claims he will make a Hollywood comeback after he's exonerated at his assault trial, his SA trial.
Was he doing this with like a German interviewer?
Yeah, I'd never heard of the publication. So it says
no one else will take him.
Yeah, it's called Zeit magazine.
I know that there are people right now who are ready to hire me at the moment I'm cleared of these charges in London. The second that happens, they're ready to move forward. Great.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's all about the people you know and not about.
It says a lot about the people in the industry, right? They are the ultimate. They are in many ways the ultimate capitalists, right? They don't care what damage you. And I'd be fine with that as long as you admit that that's what you are. Don't fill yourself. Don't throw this label of virtue around on yourself and pretend like you're the good guys if you're not the good guys. Be who you are. Just don't lie about it.
I voted Kevin Spacey in our poll today.
Yep.
As who I trust the least, simply because people keep mysteriously dying surrounding all of these allegations. I'm not going to say out loud what I'm thinking is happening.
Yep.
But it's definitely something to raise an eyebrow at.
I did put a poll up, ladies and gentlemen. I said, who would you trust the least? Kevin Spacey, Bill Cosby, Miranda Sings, or Ezra Miller? So far, Ezra Miller is winning handily.
I think I would trust Ezra Miller as a friend because he would be constantly wanting to like beat anyone up who crosses.
He's like, are there any women that have pissed you off lately, dude? Because I will go off.
I will assault them. Yeah.
He's like, I haven't choked slammed anyone in months, and I haven't thrown a chair since last week. Let me know. Just let me know who's been pissing you off, dude. I got you. But yeah, so I have a lot of this is his statement now. I'm going to read this. It says, bold words from a guy who's facing 12 counts of SA by 4 men in a criminal trial set to begin in London later this month. Spacey was charged with offenses that allegedly occurred between 2001 and 2013, but he has denied any wrongdoing. This was his statement. He says, I have a lot of respect for and an admiration for Anthony Rapp as an actor. If you remember, Anthony Rapp is the one who filed the $40 million civil suit that got...
Who alleged that Kevin Spacey basically
R-worded him.
Well, didn't R-word him, but attempted to in his apartment when Anthony Rapp was 14 years old.
At a party, at a party. So he says, I have a tremendous amount of respect and admiration for Anthony Rapp as an actor, but I'm beyond horrified to hear this story. Remember, this is from 2017. I honestly do not remember the encounter. It would have been over 30 years ago, but if I did behave then as he describes, I owe him the sincerest apology for what would have been deeply inappropriate drunken behavior, and I am sorry for the feelings he describes having carried with him all these years.
Reiterate, you cannot use drunkenness as an excuse for pedophilia.
Shocking, right? Look, shocking.
I don't care how drunk you are. Things that you do while you're drunk are not things you would never even conceive of doing while sober. Yep. It just means your inhibitions are lowered, and that's something that you would have entertained doing while sober.
Yep. And Anthony Rapp lost his civil suit because it's been 30 years. There's no way to prove any of this. How do you do that, right?
I'm sure, and I hope that 99.999% of people out there would not dream of propositioning a child during like when they're sober or drunk.
Yep.
But to excuse it with drunkenness is just so disingenuous. And it's such a subtle but evil equivocation.
It wasn't long till after this when he came out and said, it's not my fault, it's because I'm gay. Like,
yeah,
he came
that
out and
too.
said, like, which is insane.
Which also,
has
once
nothing
again,
to do
like,
with it.
kind of implicates all gay people in something that you did as an individual.
Unbelievable, dude. And it's not just Kevin Spacey. It's also Bill Cosby, who is now being sued by 9 women. It says we got a $20 super chat hit there from Because Reasons.
He said, how can you trust Spacey after House of Cards? Seriously.
Not just that, but the videos he released on YouTube not playing his character from House of Cards.
Maybe he wasn't acting.
Yeah, well, that's what a lot of people say, right? Like, the reason he was able to play Frank so well was because he wasn't acting. He was being...
Even just genuine. As a PR move, that was a weird decision.
Yep. So the lawsuit, we're getting back on Cosby now, because remember, Hollywood and the media are full of bad people. The lawsuit filed in the District Court of Nevada accuses Cosby of using his enormous power, fame, and prestige to isolate and SA each of the 9 women named in the lawsuit. And again, this is because they have eliminated the statute of limitations for these types of cases in civil suits.
For all civil cases?
Yeah, for SA civil cases. So
I wonder where else that would apply in the country.
Well, yeah, I don't know. So it says NBC Daily News anchor Kate Snow will have an exclusive interview with some of the women, which will air on Thursday.
I almost thought I was going to say Bill Cosby.
Yeah, Cosby has been publicly accused of sexual abuses from groping to our word by more than 60 women, many of whom have allegations that are decades old, but are being revived as states change statutes defining how courts handle misconduct cases.
I know we say innocent until proven guilty, and that's the way that our judicial system is supposed to work. But don't you think, Brett, that after a certain number, there's just like a critical mass that you reach of allegations where it's like,
I mean, I still don't know if I don't think that that's a reason to break the system.
It's not a reason to convict someone, but it's a reason to probably safely assume that
it's a reason
guilty.
to be like, at least ask questions.
In your personal
right?
opinion of the guy. I mean, nobody thinks he's innocent.
Well, yeah, like I don't know what people's opinions are of him. And look, I don't know if these women are being truthful. I have no idea. But I do know that I wouldn't, if I was a woman, I wouldn't leave my drink unattended around Bill Cosby just to be safe.
No.
Just to be safe. That's
no,
all
they
I'm
did
saying.
they did a social experiment in some like what would you do type video.
Yeah.
Where a woman like leaves her drink out and you can visibly see a guy, like an actor, put something in it. Mm. And they tested out like how many guys would intervene, how many guys would like take the drink away or like apprehend the guy.
Did they actually show him giving the drink to the girl?
Most of the time. Well, they showed that it was the girl's drink.
Oh, so he knows that it's not the guy's drink.
Yeah, they know.
Okay.
And most of the time, the guys around the situation didn't do anything. Isn't that just kind of disheartening?
We live in a culture.
What would you do? I mean, you can think all you want that you would respond a certain way, but how do you know?
Yeah, like I don't know. Like
probably the best case is just like pretend that you accidentally knocked it over.
Yeah, like maybe the best
that nobody
the best idea would be
involved.
to just like bump into him and knock the glass over.
Whoops.
Because like who knows, like we do live in a world now where like we've seen all those studies, right, that talk about like people beat up, like guys have been beating up women on trains and people don't do anything because we live in a litigious society and nobody wants to get involved in stuff that's not their business. But
it's also just sad.
It's also part of society, which has emasculated men and created a generation of men who aren't willing to step in and do something about it.
I'm not even saying you need to start a fight over it and like try to apprehend the guy, but just telling the person that they're about to get poisoned. I thought that would be like the bare minimum, but most of the time no one steps into these situations.
Another thing to ask would be like, would they have done something differently if this happened in a setting outside of a nightclub?
Oh, they also tested it out with how the woman was dressed. So if she were dressed in a more revealing way, they were way less likely to do anything. If she were dressed modestly, they were more likely to step in.
Like, what's the is the logic? Like, I'm trying to follow their logic. Is their logic like she wanted this to happen, so it was planned? That's insane.
No, there's no logic to it. It's just the assumptions that we make about people.
Like so they're saying she deserves it because she's dress revealing?
Subconsciously at the very least, yes.
Oh, man.
Which is sad, but that's how the world is.
Oh, so Cosby has consistently denied all of the allegations, of course, and as we know, he got out of jail.
And he's about to go back on tour.
He's going to go back on tour.
In the middle of this civil case?
He's got to make money to pay it if he gets found guilty. It's very disturbing. But it lends credence to the idea that Hollywood will do business with anyone as long as they can make them money. It's kind of a funny. I saw somebody Hypothesis left a couple of super chats involving wrestling. Look, Vince McMahon, he's one of those people. He'll do business with anyone. You could talk the most crap about Vince McMahon ever, but if you can make him money, he'll work with you. Hollywood's like, look, you can do all the bad things in the world, but as long as you're going to pull in a profit for us.
As long as it's hidden from public view. But even then, sometimes they disregard that. And so they're talking about Mel Gibson.
Yeah, like in Mel Gibson, who didn't do anything that was actually a crime or bad. He just said some stuff.
He said slurs. He
said some awful things. And now the people who are making The Continental, which he's in, he's a character named Cormac in The Continental, they're having to answer for these claims about stuff that he said a decade ago.
Which is ridiculous.
A decade ago. So this is what the producer said. He says, they were asking him about his controversial casting in this role and will it be a problem. He says, no, I think he fit the role. He fit what we needed based on his film past, and I'll leave others to debate the other stuff because it's not a black and white issue, and I don't want to be soundbited and clickbait. That's a tricky game to get into. I have my own personal beliefs in life, personal beliefs in life and whatnot. After everything, I'm here to entertain.
I think
But I'm here
good
to
on
entertain.
this guy for standing up for himself.
Well, yeah, and like Gibson is one of those people that
Kowtowing.
he's such a staple in Hollywood. He's invested so much money in the industry. He's developed so many relationships over his 30, 40-year career that he's kind of like grandfathered in. Like
But
he was able to
it's
shield
about having
himself.
the right friends, and it's not actually about the truth of the matter or what you did or didn't do.
Yep. And the thing is, he apologized for this stuff over and over again. But as we know, there's no point in apologizing because they don't want your apology. They want to subjugate you and they want to make you their bitch, basically. They want you to be groveling at their feet anytime they see a problem with anything that you do.
Amber Heard is also making a comeback soon.
I love it.
She's going to be starring in a new film called In the Fire, which is about a therapist, I guess, an American psychiatrist in the 19th century, before psychiatry was considered a trusted field in science. And she comes to treat and psychoanalyze a child who is acting erratically. It's
just really funny here that out of all the people, I feel like the backlash has been longest against Mel Gibson. He's the only one here who's not accused of actual physical violence against another person.
Why him? It doesn't seem fair.
Amber Heard, physical violence against another person. Oh, boo-hoo. You almost lost a finger. Oh, boo-hoo. I'm hitting you. I'm not punching you. That's physical violence.
However, in regards to like Mark Wahlberg, for instance, like he committed violence in the past
when he was a minor.
Yes, should have known better.
Definitely.
Absolutely. But again, I just don't care who these people are in their personal lives.
Because you shouldn't
commit crimes, you should be held accountable for that. But if you said some bad things or you just happen to be a jerk, I really don't care. I don't watch movies based on like my respect for or admiration for the people in them playing characters.
And most of the people do understand that for Mel Gibson, a lot of it is related to his religious beliefs.
Like we're watching The Flash tonight.
Yeah, we're good. And I watched a couple of reviews with people who were like, look, Ezra Miller's good in the film. I don't like Ezra Miller, but he's good in the film. So
exactly.
So, you know.
And what else can you really say?
And I do believe with Mel Gibson, it's more related to his conservatism and the fact that he's religious.
Yes. And Mark Wahlberg too.
Yes. They are both openly religious. And maybe the thing is like, look, for somebody who's religious, a big part, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, a big thing that religion offers is redemption. And these people don't believe, the people that hate these people don't believe in redemption. The people that hate Mel Gibson, the people that hate Mark Wahlberg are the people that don't believe in redemption. They believe in making you apologize forever and forever.
Now, there are some people in society for whom redemption, or at least redemption in the court of public opinion, should not be possible. And that's someone like Bill Cosby.
Or Kevin Spacey.
Because that's when you need to be, you're someone that society should be protected from, meaning you should be in jail. But if it's a situation like Mel Gibson's, I just don't understand where the ire comes from.
I have no idea.
I don't care what kind of person Mel Gibson is behind closed doors.
Yep.
It affects me 0%.
Yep.
When I'm watching a movie that he's in.
I just and Amber Heard, Amber Heard's kind of an interesting one because she's like left America and she's now living in Spain.
Yeah, I thought that the news was that she's like retreating from acting, but now it says she's like prioritizing being in films again.
Yeah. Well, you know, like for her, she's young. I'm guessing that, like, given that she probably lives a fairly lavish lifestyle, right? She's made her money, but she still needs to make money to keep that lifestyle. Mel Gibson doesn't have to work again.
Sure.
Kevin Spacey doesn't have to work again.
What was her net worth? Like $10 million?
It was not a lot if you're living in a villa that costs several $100,000 a month to rent, right? Like, so. She's not somebody that can just stop working. If she would, like, she
I guess
could
the
stop,
child support from Elon Musk isn't hitting like it used to.
She could stop working if she like adjusted her lifestyle maybe and lived a very modest life. But if she wants to keep
not
living,
even very modest, I think anyone with a net worth of 10 million can live like pretty well.
Yeah.
But
she's not
again,
going to do that.
if you want to live a Hollywood lifestyle, you have to.
Wait, who was it? Was
it
Sydney Sweeney that was saying like, I only made $3 million. How am I supposed to live on this?
Sydney Sweeney, yeah. Like the idea that being like underpaid is that you have to continue working in your 20s when you're 25 years old. Nobody expected that being on Euphoria would have you set for life.
But she's capitalizing.
She's also bought a house.
Yeah, she's capitalizing.
Any other 25-year-old in America, can they really say that they could they're in the position to buy a house in Calabasas.
I saw a great thing the other day where it's like a 22-year-old girl and her husband or fiance or something. She's like, we graduated college, bought our first house, and they're posing outside of the house. And somebody's like, I looked up the house just to prove you wrong. Yes, your dad. Like you and your dad bought the house.
Yeah, I don't like when people lie about that stuff.
Yeah, like it sets an unreal.
Because it's like setting this aspirational, like upward mobility dream that kind of doesn't exist anymore.
Your dad had to kindly crack the glass ceiling for you.
Yeah, which I respect if that's what you do, but don't lie about it.
Also, like, what about the dad? Dad's like, what am I, chopped liver?
Yeah.
I didn't do anything to help you out here.
Give
Are
him
you
some
kidding
credit.
me? Come on. It's like the same thing, I guess, when people say like, oh, I made it through, I paid my way through college, but dad's like, they paid for their rent, but their parents paid for the college.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not good. But yeah, Mel Gibson, look, he said it himself. He said when he called Jim Caviezel to make Passion of the Christ, he goes, hey, you want to ruin your career with me? And Jim's like, hell yeah, let's.
I guess it kind of did in Jim Caviezel, but not Mel Gibson.
It absolutely did to Jim Caviezel. I also saw an article today saying that he's supposedly saying that Sound of Freedom is outselling Indiana Jones. I'm just saying. Like,
on what metric?
I didn't. It was before the show. We could maybe talk about it tomorrow if it's interesting enough. But I'm just saying, press X to doubt.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I'm excited for the Sound of Freedom, but I'm just not sure if I'm buying that, Jim. I'm not 110% sure. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.